Hello and welcome to Amazons et al. With me, Aisha Umar Yusuf. Our guest today can rightly be called an activist emeritus. With a finger in almost every pie that benefits humanity, she is highly educated, widely traveled, and a politician of high repute. A professional in various fields, this extremely hard-working mother is also a renowned advocate for women's rights at international levels. Remain with us after this short break and get to meet her. Yeah, welcome back to Amazons et al., where our guest today is Dr. Bilkisu Magoro. You're welcome to the program, Doctor. You're obviously a lady of numerous accomplishments. Can you tell us how it all started? What's the story of your childhood?
Well, I would say because of a lot of activities from my childhood, being from a family where there was a lot of activities. My father was a military man, and so a lot of traveling, a lot of interaction with people, so that I suppose that builds the base for me to interact and search more about what life is all about and become very curious, I would say. And so basically that's,
Okay. I mean, like the schools you attended?
Schools.
Kind of.
Well, as I said, because of the movements that I did, okay. A lot of schools. Okay. I was in the military schools, okay. Basically, with movement from one to another. So I was in Ikeja Cantonment, I was in Army Children's School Kaduna, I was in Hillcrest in Jos, and then I was in Federal Government College too. After that, I did I schooled in England, quite numerous other schools to have it is, yes.
Mm-hmm. So what does it mean to be a development consultant? That seems to be the way your current work is defined.
Yes. Well, as a development consultant, most what I look into, a lot of the consultants look into, is that they look into organizations and they look at places, regions, depending on where they're focused on, the area they're focused on, and those organizations or businesses or regions or countries, they look at them, look at where they have challenges and the way forward, how to move them forward. So it depends on the area you're looking at, but basically it's trying to see how they can move them forward, strategize and move and improve on whatever.
Something like a strategic repositioning exercise?
It's more like it.
For
organizations and regions and countries. And
But yeah, you seem to have studied so widely and across different disciplines. Why did you have such a diverse educational background?
I think curiosity. I'm one of those people that when I go into discussions or I meet people, I always want to be on top. I want to have knowledge.
Yes.
So I'm always hungry, thirsty for knowledge. And so sometimes I'll pick up, I'll see courses, I'll see things that come up, and I'll think, this is interesting. Let me participate in it. And from, as you said earlier, I'm a science-based person. So I started with the sciences, for my first degree and everything. Went on to my master's in genetics, but then I switched. I became more curious because the sciences is more tailored. It's either So I was curious about things that went around the environment with me, and so that's why I went into international relations with diplomacy, and then of course with my PhD and everything. But then all the other courses I took because there's an interest in some of these areas, like in special needs itself, coaching and things like that. So those are other things that I think, that holistic is not just educational, but you need to learn about yourself. And for an individual, you need to be packed with knowledge. You need to be able to interact with just almost anybody, within the society, just streamlining an area. So that's my own perspective, being able to interact anywhere and be able to talk to anybody or have knowledge where it needs, even if it's just little.
Yes.
But when the topic comes up, I should be able to say something about it. Yes, I should be able to interact in a certain way.
Okay. So having been in this your super activist career for about 3 decades, I'm sure you've had to combine it with keeping and keeping a home and raising a family. How did you manage that effectively?
At the beginning, it wasn't very easy, but then, I think most of that started, at an early stage. But then, of course, the home front came in first, to see that the children and everything came up, they were well, attended to. And then it's like time management. But most of it, to be honest, most of my time went more to, looking after the children until later on, when there was more time, then I could, get more involved. And some of this...
You married after graduation or before?
After graduation.
Okay.
After graduation.
So at least you are done with that first degree.
Yes, I was done. Yes, I was done the first degree after that. So that was, less. There was
less hassle.
Yes, hassle. So that it was easier to do a lot of things afterwards with that. But for most times, it's just the time management and being able to balance the home and whatever you're doing. Exactly. And mostly for women, I think you have to. There's that thin line. You have to decide where do you want to focus. Is it, the family line, or is it, the career path?
Yes.
And it's very difficult to mix both of them because one of them would definitely suffer. Yes. So if you're focusing on the career line and you still have, you're going to still have the family and the children, it's very difficult to handle. Yes. And if you decide to focus on the family, which bringing up the children, looking after the family and everything is there, I think that will be will be a lot easier because that's the base. I think that's the base for so the family. That's the nucleus of society. Yes. That's the base. And if you look at the family, it's fine. Whatever you decide to do later, it's less challenging. But when you focus more and ignore the family and more on the career, and the family is not really, the children you're not really get the right footing. I'm trying to use I'm trying to use see the right words to use. Then it becomes more of a challenge, even if you have the career. Yes. You build your career later on. Okay. But different, strokes for different women. Some it's easier for them, and some can say they can handle both. But to be honest, one usually, one would usually suffer. Both can do, but then maybe the career would build slowly, as you're doing that, build the career. Like for me, mine was slow, because I was more focused on
the family in the beginning.
Yes, and then, built on the career. But it was slower, but I was active in what I was doing.
Yes. So you have attended over 50 international conferences in different continents around the globe. What impact does your participation have on the work you do now?
Oh yeah, the network. Yes. I have such a large network base. If I'm looking for anything, I could easily just reach out
with a phone call.
It's just reach out with a phone call. Yes. And if there's something I just don't understand, I could just call up somewhere. I could send a message, guys, ladies, what's all this going on? Can you just fit me back? Can you tell me this? So that it's a base that you actually have that, and then with that, it's helped with building, like as I said, policies. It's given me so much vast knowledge with all that. So it's my knowledge is broader, my thinking is broader. If I'm thinking, I'm not just thinking of just one area. I'm thinking, there's this interchange of knowledge, ideas, all over, and ideas from people. So it's not just going to be like, if we're going to talk about even Africa, it's not just about Africa. We're talking about Africa. I'm looking at, okay, what is it that we discussed in Singapore before? What is it that it always comes up. What was it that we discussed in China like 20 years ago? What is the difference? When was it when we went to China and they were looking at us, black people were looking strange at that time, but now there's so many black people in China. Yes. So you see those are the, and there was a time that we're having these conferences about Africa and China to bring China together. Look at it. There was a time we're having conferences about Dubai and Nigeria. This was years back with people like Bashir Dalhatu and the rest of them. You were trying to, see how can we form the businesses. And look at now the business. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So we've watched it develop. starts where we thought it couldn't happen, and now these are things that have, just gone,
totally normal now.
That it's normal. Businesses, people are interacting, people are living, people are marrying, Chinese, where the Chinese were marrying, and it was strange because we're looking at it, I'll tell you, taking pictures and whatever, and we're looking strange at that time. So, it's good to see these things that, the development has gone beyond what we actually thought at the beginning, and if only thing we could do is see how we can put this development and interaction to actually get the continent going, especially the African continent itself. Yes.
Okay. So do you find it easy to push some of those takeaways from those conferences into government policies?
They're very difficult. They're very difficult. We try to. Sometimes, it's not, you can't bring some of what you get from different conferences and just come in and put them. You have to see how it fits into within the society itself. So something that might be good in Ghana or might be good in South Africa might not be perfect in Nigeria because of the culture, the society, and the way things are handled too. So you have to see how you can actually move these things to fit into the society itself. So when the discussions are going on, it's not exactly what you take from those conferences, but it's how you can use those ideas and discussions. How can you implement them into yours to fit within your society here?
Yes, I think I heard that some of them come with this how do I say, leeway for domesticating. You can domesticate
them, yes, into your society. Yes. And that's what we try very hard to do. That as individuals, that it's something that can be domesticated. Most cases where policies have gone wrong there have been that we've tried implementing sometimes, or the government has tried implementing in Nigeria, or other organizations that come in to try to implement, is that they don't make them they don't domesticate them, they don't make them to fit into what the society is all about. So if they have a template of something that happened they used in Chad or in Egypt or something, they would just want to use the same thing here, and so definitely it will not work because the societies are different, and we're on different stages of development. And then of course I think our people, we need to, even if we have those policies, we have to sit and make sure that they fit into. It's the same thing with politics. You cannot sit down and see what is happening in America must happen in Nigeria, because they're two different societies, two different cultures, different perspective of life. So we need to be able to make some changes that would fit into our own society, and that people will be happy with it. But we cannot just take the template and use the same template and say it's going to work for us completely.
So you ran for elective office thrice. Is there a special reason you're in politics, or it's just that it's the pursuit of some kind of a personal ambition? You want to hold this office, so you're running for it?
No, far from it. I think it's part of all trying to give back to society. If you look at what I do, it's saying, at that time, for the first elections, I was the face of the UN Women at that time, and we were discussing, and they were going about trying to get women to come out of that, the first initial women to participate in politics and everything. And they said, okay.
Are you talking about the return of the Fourth Republic?
Yes. We're talking about
even before the Fourth Republic.
No.
Okay.
Let me see, UN face, and I can't remember the dates, but I'll put that in perspective very soon. So, but with that, we're discussing and we're trying to say, look, women must come back into into the political field itself. We cannot just have just men that are out there. And so with that, they were discussing, and they said, look, okay, all of you here that are sitting and talking, why don't you just,
rise up and
see if you can do it and everything. And that is how we some of us decided, okay, we would contest and would see how we can try to see how we can attract more women into politics as it is. But we it was challenging, but we participated.
So we're going to go on a short break. We'll soon be back with Dr. Bilkisu Magoro. Yeah, welcome back to Amazons et al. Our special guest is Dr. Bilkisu Magoro. You have been a delegate to several UN conferences on women. Do you see the status of women changing positively as a result of these meetings?
Oh yes, depending on what perspective we're looking at it again. But of course, there's been a lot of progress. There's been more awareness for women, and most of these conferences that we've had, the Commission on the Status of Women with the UN, that's been going on every year since after the Beijing. It's now 30 years. There's been progress. Women have become more aware of activities they can do. Women have become have more access to things like education, funding, businesses that they could do to help promote themselves and to look after themselves, and health-wise too.
Yes.
So there's been a lot of progress. Politically, depending on what part of you're looking at, what region, what countries you're looking at. If we're looking at the Nigerian perspective, it's more like there've been less women, more women participation in politics, but less women elected into elective position.
Okay.
So there are more women that are more aware of politics. They know what is going on. They're they're aware of the environments and things like that, but not getting elected into elective positions.
Yes.
And then more women are going into businesses. More women have been educated, and it's very important because the woman is the base of a family. So if she's educated, and the health issues and the rest too are very important, which will help support the family. So there's been an impact, positive impact.
Why do you think women are not making it into, the less women are making it into elective positions? What do you think is hampering their efforts?
We, in most societies or within our own society, I'll just keep narrowing things down to Nigeria most of the time when we discuss.
Yes, actually, I'm talking about Nigeria
itself.
Yes.
So within Nigeria itself, I think most times, of course, we have the funding issue, which is because politics in Nigeria is more money based. So it's the funding issues. A lot of women that go into politics don't have that kind of base, to spend in politics.
Yes.
And most times, like for the men, they come together. They can put money together and fund individuals among themselves. Yes, support them. Not even with money, even with their businesses. That they can help to promote that person to get there. So women tend to not have that. We have not reached that position because we don't have that many women that are in businesses that can help support other women. We haven't had enough women that have been in political positions that can help bring all these women that we want to bring in. But I think it's a gradual process, and until our politics becomes less money based, I think that's when we'd have more women that will come into positions. Another aspect is, of course, the cultural issues, depending on what part of Nigeria you're from, and the support base you get. For some, it's difficult, for them to actually aspire for political positions if they want to, depending on the cultural area,
yes,
the environment, their catchment area. So that too plays a role. Another part that plays in a role is, when we talk about where are you from, women have that problem because really, where are you from? As a woman, are you from where your parents are from? Are you from where they gave birth to you? Are you from where your husband is? So when you come up for a political position, where are you from?
Yes.
So if you're married, you have your husband, are you going back to where your parents are from? Are they going to accept you?
Yes.
To contest in that area? Is it going to be where you were born or where you've lived for a certain period of time? Is there going to be that acceptance?
Yes.
Within that area, you might not be from the same, language, ethnic group.
Yes.
But you've lived there, you've been born there. So I'm from Kebbi. I was born in Kaduna. Okay, I've lived in Kaduna all my life. would they accept me? I mean, people know me and everything. Yes, but is it something that would be easy to,
that indigenship?
Yes, that thing,
Yes.
as a woman, would it be easy? So now, if you've been married there, or married from Kebbi, lived in Kaduna, married from Adama, are you going to go back to Adama? Who do you know? I mean, just so that thing plays a role, especially for women, when it comes to aspiring for political positions. It hinders them quite a bit. So I think that's one of those areas too that plays a role for women too.
You are also a delegate at our last National Constitutional Conference. So among the many NGOs you work with, it appears that you have one that attends to children with special needs. Why did you take that up?
Wow, that's my passion. Well, that's one of my. It's very close to my heart.
I see.
Now with that one, it's the Bilmor Technical and Vocational Center for children with special needs, and I run that. When as a child, when we're growing up, I used to see, a lot of one or two family friends that had children with challenges and everything, and after as we got older and to a certain age, I just realized that within society you don't tend to see them anymore. They seem to just disappear and within the society, and so I became very curious about it, and I was wondering what happened to them and everything. This is later on in life, and so I found out some really gory things, especially within our own society, about how they've been treated.
They'll be locked up somewhere for years. I remember the stories we had some years ago. Some were locked up for 7 years, some 10 years, some 15. And just
some were killed, they get killed, depending on what part of society they're in. Some of them, like the ones they got in the churches, they'll put them in the basement and say they're casting the devil out of them. In some part of the northern part, they'll say they have Iska and the rest of them. All the different challenges, So that's when I thought, I tried very hard, decided to study more on them and learn more about, the different non-visual disability, because there's a visible disability which is very common, which is the crippled, deaf and dumb. But then the non-visual ones are the ones that you don't see, but they have those challenges, and then a lot of people are not aware of them.
The mental ones.
They're mental. There's some that are chromosomal. There's some like the different ones. So things like autism, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, dyslexia. They come in different ways. The dyslexia is, writing challenges, spelling. Yes, writing, spelling. And sometimes, there are lots of things that bring along with that. So there are lots of different challenges that you cannot see. They look just like you and I, but they have their challenges, So I decided to see what I could do in my own little way to help them. And that's where I opened the center for them, where we could intervene at an early age, from age 2 to age 8, and then the older ones, we see how we can help them to move into like things like secondary schools, and those that cannot, we train them in vocational training, and see how they can do self-help skills, because most times the challenges with parents is they don't know what would happen to these children when they're gone, because the parents, especially of course the mother is the one that's forever looking after that child. So fathers do, but mostly it's left for the mothers. So most times the challenges, the fear I get from parents is, okay, so if we're not here, what will happen to this child? So getting them to have little things that they can do to help themselves, vocational things, would help them to build a life and society too. And sometimes they don't even know where to start with. They're adults, but they cannot do anything for themselves. So at the center, we start self-help skills. We teach them from everything, from bathing all the way. Yes, we teach them everything. So the Special Needs Center is very dear to my heart. It's something that
How do you fund it? Personally, or do their parents contribute anything?
Most parents do contribute, but mostly I scout around, try to get for support and see, get funding from other places too, because it's not something that people are very aware of. And because of the way we are, if there are other children in the family, most parents would say, oh, let them spend, invest more.
Yeah, on the healthy ones.
On the healthy ones.
Okay.
And but then, those ones that have the special needs could be the, your gold mine too.
Yeah.
Because they are the ones we have in Silicon Valley. They're the ones that, the moment they fix they're good in a certain area, they're perfect in those areas.
I see.
Yes.
You've seen some of those who graduated and
oh yes,
productive in life.
Oh yes, most of them they're in the computer world and whatever. They're mostly they're the ones.
The graduates of Bilmor, your organization.
Oh, from my graduation, we've had the ones that have gone into things like the military. We've had those that we have them. We have them. We've put them through. Some of them just need that extra attention to focus.
I see.
And then we don't go by age. So you don't say that because somebody is 20, the person, or 30 cannot. We build you up at whatever age, and then you move on. So we've had the ones that have come through that are doing they've started their computer businesses. They started little businesses, but we teach them. There's a lot that we put them through.
I see.
And it's mostly one-on-one. So it's not usually crowded. So we have that child gets the attention that they want.
I see. Do your children participate in your NGO activities?
Oh yes, they do.
They do.
Yeah, we've had when I have conferences and things like that, like the last Commission on the Status of Women that we had at the UN in New York. They took part. I mean, they did most of the running, and they come in, they train. At the center.
Both girls and boys?
Yes, they train their own little way, what they can do. So they come in and they help train in a lot of things that they do, yes.
I see.
They come and help them with soap making, with whatever area they're good in, or what they've learned, they come and teach them, and they help too. So they do give the support.
Are they pursuing studies or careers now?
No, careers.
They're
done.
I see. Do you think being the daughter of General Magoro had anything to do with the fact that you've grown this successful in life? Sometimes being in that position opens doors for you. And so
I think you make life what you want what you want it to be. Yes, alhamdulillah. I mean, I'm very proud to be his daughter, and he's set a good way for me. But then it depends. You could have all those amenities. It depends on how you use it and how you place yourself in life.
Like I can safely say he's your role model?
Of course he's my role model.
Okay.
He's done. I'm very proud of him. And my mother too. So I'm very proud of both of them.
Inshallah.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bilkisu.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for being with us. It's been an interesting 30 minutes with our Amazon for this week, Dr. Bilkisu Magoro. I hope you'll join us again next week to meet a new Amazon. Until then, have a great week.